Welcome to Fuel Her Awesome, the nutrition pep talk to supercharge your week. I'm Jess, registered dietitian and empowered eating coach, here to help you take your health to that next level. In these bite-sized episodes, we cut right through the noise and blend science with biofeedback and values, all while teaching you how to trust your intricately and beautifully designed body. Because here's the deal, you are awesome, and life is an invitation to show up that way. But you can't do it without food. So let's lean in as we explore how to fuel your awesome with empowered eating. What's up, friend? Welcome back to the Fuel Her Awesome show. I'm so glad you're here. And I'm really excited because last week we actually kicked off Submit Your Questions, and we had a bunch come in last week. It was so cool to see. So today's topic is inspired from one of the questions that rolled in, and that is a question about creatine. This is a hot supplement that has lots of chatter about it right now. So we're going to do a quick empowered eating pep talk on creatine so you can walk away knowing, should I or should I not take this supplement? How much? How often? Is it going to cause weight gain? I'm so excited for it. But if you have a question, my friend, I want to invite you right off the bat to submit it. You can roll on down to the show notes and just fill out a quick Google form. You can remain anonymous, share your story, whatever you feel comfortable with. But I love it when these are submitted because this show is for you. And it's best if these questions come from you. So super excited today to dive into this one. Creatine has been really cool to observe its evolution over the last 20 years. When I was in undergrad, we were still very much in the mindset of, I don't know, we don't know what it does on your kidneys, the effects of it. While there are effects, we lose those effects as soon as we stop taking it. So it was still in its infancy, but I can honestly say over the last 20 years, there has been so much research that has come out showing that creatine is not only safe, but incredibly powerful and effective. Guys, creatine is not just for bodybuilders anymore. It is for us women, I think maybe more so than bodybuilders. It's one of the most researched supplements out there and has major, major benefits for active women like you and like me. So the question that rolled in was in general about creatine, but this person also wanted to know, what about like when we're breastfeeding or pregnant? Like, can this impact the baby? Super excited to dive into this one today. And again, I want to invite you to submit your question below, or if you want to dive in deeper, like guys, creatine is one of many supplements I typically recommend. And these are questions that can be answered in your nutrition intake. Like, these are things that are worth your time and energy and understanding about yourself and getting clear on what your body needs. But for today, we're going to look at just creatine. Now, before we dive in, let's do a quick creatine 101 orientation. Like, what is this supplement and what is it doing in our body? So creatine is actually naturally made within our body, and it's a part of our instant energy system. So like when you do anything that requires instant energy, like jumping, like doing a power lift, doing a quick sprint, like that really, really quick under 10-second movement is fueled by something called the creatine phosphagen system. And we naturally have creatine circulating in our system. But here's the deal. Women naturally have about 70% of the creatine stores that men do. However, with supplementation, we can significantly increase those stores, potentially reaching levels closer to 80 to 90% of what men typically have. So we can really level up our physical capacity with this supplement. And it doesn't directly increase your muscle mass, but what it does is it fuels that instant energy system to provide more power for any activity that you are doing. So that's the main claim to fame, but I will get into it in a little bit. We're going to find that the benefits are actually beyond just strength and muscle development. We're going to dive into that at the end, okay? All right, so let's start our empowered eating pep talk with our values compass. Now, the empowered eating model pulls in values, biofeedback, and nutrition science. So we're going to work through each one, but we always like to start with our values compass. So how does this topic align with your values? You may not think it does, but it actually does quite significantly, regardless of what your top values are, be them family, faith, mission work, whatever it is, I am guessing, my friend, that strength, longevity, and mental focus are required in order for you to show up fully in those values. So if that is the case, if your answer to that is yes, then this podcast topic, it absolutely matters to you. You are working hard in your workouts, you're pushing yourself mentally by juggling all of the things, and creatine supplementation can actually support all those things to the next level. So when we look at our values compass, yes, this supplement in particular is quite important. All right, let's filter it through our biofeedback. Now, the past couple of weeks, we have been looking at some biofeedback basics like hunger and satiety and really starting to tune into those pieces of our body. But when we're talking about supplementation, this is boss biofeedback skills. This is really leveling up what we are doing and how we are listening to our body. And the thing is if you are pushing your body in any way, like I don't care what your fitness foundation level is, if you are doing something with your body physically that is pushing it to that next level, chances are you might feel fatigued during a workout. You might feel wiped the next day. My friend, this is a biofeedback invitation to level up your creatine. Creatine does help restore those energy levels and improve recovery so you're not dragging through your workout. So if and when you decide to add creatine into your lifestyle, I want you to listen to your body around those workouts. Like, are you able to produce more power? That would be the big thing to look for there. And secondly, are you able to recover faster? Okay, we're going to spend most time on the nerdy nutrition nuggets for this question because there's a ton of science looking at creatine. Like I said, it's the most researched supplement in sports nutrition. And what's been really cool is not only have we uncovered the muscle health benefits, but they found a lot of brain health benefits, especially for females. So super cool here. I want to talk about a study from the Journal of International Society of Sports Nutrition that is hot off the press. This was a study a paper that evaluated what the scientific evidence is really showing in regards to creatine. The cool thing about this paper is that it was this group of experts that came together in 2021 who originally looked at creatine, but then decided to get back together in 2025 to talk more about it because there has been so much that has come out in the last decade. So this hot off the press paper cites over 245 studies. That is so much research. And it's looking at those research studies from an expert level covering a multitude of topics on creatine. And what I want to do today is actually just dive into some of the highlights so you can feel comfortable taking creatine if you decide to. Because here's the deal. I think for so long, creatine was attached to bodybuilders and like Arnold Schwarzenegger style bodies. And so I have a lot of women that are afraid to take it and worried that it's going to cause them to bulk up. But what we now know is that when we take it at a consistent and appropriate dose, we don't get that bulking effect. So sister, we don't need to be afraid of creatine anymore. This is an incredible, incredible supplement to add to your stack. So let's do some high-level science review pulled from this paper. One question that is first and foremost is, can creatine provide muscle benefits without exercise? Yes. Creatine can increase the amount of stored muscle, which may offer benefits even without exercise. So if you're working out, if you're lifting heavy, lifting heavy, we still see some muscle benefits just by adding in creatine. However, when we combine creatine with regular physical activity, it really is that like next level and we get those best results for muscle growth and strength. One of the most common questions with creatine is, does the timing of creatine matter? Does the timing, the amount, does it matter? My friend, the exact timing of when you take creatine before or after a workout, it really doesn't significantly impact its effectiveness. What is important is the consistency. So taking it every single day. The standard recommendation is 5 grams a day. And again, the important thing is not exactly when you take it, but that you do take it every single day. So my recommendation is typically finding a time that you remember to take it. So I tend to remember to take it in the morning before I go do my workout. That's just kind of when my brain is there. I am usually in the supplement cabinet anyways, so I have opted that to be my creatine supplement time. For you, it might be before bed, at night, whatever it is, just make sure it is something that you can habit stack into your day and do regularly. Another question that often pops up is, does mixing creatine with other substances enhance its effect? And here's the down low on that one. Combining creatine with certain compounds like carbohydrates or protein, in other words, like eating with it, it may slightly improve its uptake actually into your muscle cells. But overall, the benefits remain the same if they're taken alone. So if you take it with breakfast, awesome. If you take it with post-workout snacks, awesome. But the important thing is that you take it consistently. All right, so those are the benefits of taking creatine and how to do it. But I want to hit on one last nerdy nutrition nugget here, and that is creatine's impact on memory and focus. Guys, studies have shown that creatine can actually reduce brain fog and improve mental clarity, especially during times of high cognitive demand. So whether you're taking exams, you have busy work schedules, you're doing postpartum recovery, I mean, those are times where our brain is strained to the max. And the research shows creatine can actually help clear up some of that mental fatigue. This emerging research on creatine's role in supporting mental health, potentially even helping with mood regulation and reducing symptoms of depression. Guys, this has specifically been done in women. So I am so here for that. And, I was convinced to take creatine just based on the research on muscle enhancement and muscle performance alone. But all of this new research coming out and showing how it improves cognitive function and mood resilience, like sign me up. Now, going back to the original question that a listener sent in, she was wondering, is this safe for breastfeeding? And, I'll take it even farther. Is it safe for pregnancy? The reality is, when we look at the scientific literature, creatine supplementation during the postpartum and pregnancy cycles, it's still in its infancy, guys. We just don't know enough about it yet. So I always recommend talk to your OB on that one, talk to your healthcare provider, because those are unique times and there's a lot that plays into your pregnancy story. It looks promising. The research looks like it should be safe, but you always want to run that by your healthcare provider. Okay, so if you have been hesitant about creatine in the past, here is your invitation. Try adding 5 grams per day every single day for a month. And I want you to tune into your body's biofeedback. That way we stay operating as an empowered eater. When you do this, how does it impact your energy, your strength, and your recovery? Guys, you want to look for creatine monohydrate. This is the most studied and effective form. I would love to send you my favorite. You can actually find that over at my supplement store. That's through my website, Jess Brown RD, or you can always just shoot me a message. I'll send you a personal invite and I'll send you my favorite creatine on the market that I take every single day. Oh, and there was one more thing I wanted to make sure all of you knew if you are going to take creatine. And that is that it will change your body weight about 1 to 2 pounds. I've had so many clients that come back after starting creatine saying, Jess, my weight went up. And their body composition is fantastic, but their weight did go up 1 or 2 pounds. So you can expect that taking creatine. And, if that freaks you out, girl, we got to have a different talk. I need you to take my empowered eating course, because if your weight fluctuates for a really positive reason and it upsets you, we've got some other things we need to work on. But wanted to let you know that is part of this biofeedback mechanism that you will get is your body is storing more creatine, which means you're storing a little bit more water in your muscles, which means your muscles have a little bit more power. And so don't be thrown off by that scale fluctuating just a little bit. All right, I can't wait to hear how this goes. Let me know if you enjoyed this episode. I would love for you to leave me a review. You can share it on Instagram. Don't forget to tag me at Jess Brown RD. And hey, if you have a question, you can submit it below in the notes. I would love to learn about what you want to learn about, and we can bring that here on the Fuel Her Awesome show. Sister, it has been such an honor to talk to you today. If you want to learn more about working with me, you can find all the details in the show notes. I can't wait to see you next week. Have an amazing day. Cheers and happy eating. That's a wrap on today's Empowered Eating Pep Talk. If this hits home, be sure to leave a review and share it on your social media, tagging me at JessBrownRD. And girl, if you're ready to take your nutrition and mindset to that next level, I would love to get to know you more. Head on over to JessBrownRD.com to explore things like the Well-Fueled Academy, one-on-one coaching, and all the free resources I have to help you live, eat, and fuel your awesome. Until next time, sister, have an amazing day. Cheers and happy eating.